It's the show that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend. Welcome back. Fastest freaking show in MLB. Absolutely anywhere. Well, with your homeboy, Big Johnny Stud, coming to you worldwide. Brooklyn, New York, as always. Out the damn chair as always, mi gente. What's going on? Who am I? The goddamn sugar. Follow me up on Twitter at John the Flow, sharper than a razor. Same handle over on Substack. Find out what all the damn hubbub is about. $2 a week. Get your 5 pounds of shit in a 2-pound box. Burning the candle on both ends. All the MLB stuff obviously never ends. 7 days a week. Show is 6 days a week. Football stuff on deck. Just cleaning up a little bit. There were so many roster moves. I wanted to clean all the data sheets. We're going to move over to a new link. Little fresh start. All that and more with us. All right, yesterday I was off betting. I was a little bit slow to get to the board. I think we did pretty good. The Schultz play was a real kick in the ass because that was one that I really had confidence in. If it was at nighttime, I probably would have rocked that one. I also would have gotten rolled. All right, enough of that shit. More of this. It's the best part of waking up. Got some pitching sheets in the mug. It is an abbreviated day today. Realized I have literally no grasp on the schedule whatsoever. I have no idea when everything's starting. I think it's a mix, usually Thursday. Let me just take a look. Okay, 1, 2, 3 early, 4 early, 5 early, 6 early, and 4 late. All right, I guess we'll do the 4 late. Let's start with the A's and the Phils, and then we'll wrap around today's show. We'll do a little, like a half day if anybody remembers that shit. All right, I got strong signals. Right off the bat, let's hit the timer. And away we go. JT Ginn and the Athletics, they're on the road in Philadelphia to face the house painter, Andrew Painter. It's JT Ginn on the bump for the A's. Ginn probably doesn't get enough credit. I actually think he was off to a really good start. Maybe did he have a blow-up last time out? These overall stats, not quite what I expected. I thought they were going to be a little bit better. I remember being a little bit high on Ginn, even doing a little bit of hood popping with our guy Sauce, and I thought he was coming back clean. That said, we're still at that point in the season where one star can totally blow you up. Yeah, he did have a blow-up after a couple of good runs. I tend to think Ginn is a little bit better maybe than the market gives him credit for. Though the command and control, if it's not any good, you're going to get in trouble, especially with Philly, who I feel like right now they're doing everything wrong. They're not taking walks, which would be characteristic against righties with the strong lefties. Though the discipline, otherwise, is such a weird mixed bag. The Phillies have just been all over the place this year, for real. The low K, maybe we expect. The low walk is a shock. The high contact is in check, but the high chase rate is a little out of whack, especially with the high swing rate. I don't like this, right? No, sir, I don't like it. We'd like to see the Phillies pump the brakes a little bit. Let them come to you. You know you could do the damage. There's a lot of good sticks in the lineup. Schwarber is on the press mode, right? He's striking out like crazy. So again, Philly offense really just not great. Sorry, I know we have the sheets adjusted. Like I said, I lost handle of the schedule. Philly's last 7, the power has been there. But again, way too much chase and no walks. So this is movable force and stoppable object. Ginn's lack of command versus the Phillies offense. And then Painter, again, it's been really rough. 5.28 ERA and a 1.6 whip. And not just because I like him and think he's going to be good. And he's one of those first-round prospect that I'm always a fucking honk for. Just trying to be fair. 70 left on base, a 370 BABIP. Pretty wild, even though the homer fly ball is in the single digits. He's not really putting the ball, in the air and getting pulled with the hard hit rates that maybe you'd even expect the high hard hit rate. Painter has had good control. He's not walking batters. He is inducing chases. He's got to get ahead of maybe a few more guys. I thought the swing and strike might pop a bit more. And I also thought the four-seamer would play up more. Again, you can see 97 miles an hour. The 38 use for 90 stuff plus is a little off. Again, not to make excuses for my guy Painter. But he is coming off the TJ, right, which we mentioned. He's in that N+2 honeymoon phase where we already got the bad production. Now it's starting to get cleaned up. Again, I'm not really buying the ERA. I think the indicators and the control are in check. I think he's a little bit better than we thought. That said, A's are just killing righties right now. I have them year to date. So when I quote year to date, I'm looking overall. Lefties will look L30, righties will look L14, unless otherwise specified. The Angels versus righty stuff, I had ringing today. And yeah, you can see all the power, all the expected Wobicon, all the line drives, right? So a lot of the stuff that we're looking for, checking out for the A's, I just know that I saw that absolutely pop. A's last 14, very strong. Versus righties, I'd imagine, in general, not as good as I thought it might be. Hard hit rates are down for this team. Maybe we'd even like to see him swipe a little bit more. Though I keep trying to remind myself, the A's, one of those teams, the more you shrink the sample, the more you need to care about it a little bit less because they're very much platoon driven. So, like, speed could be one-handedness where you're getting Law Dog, Lawrence Butler. Anyway, we're spending way too much time on this. Just because I had the A's to win this one outright as the underdog, and I always like to make sure I talk through it, so I'm buying my own fucking bullshit here. Yeah, I've got A's for the win. I guess we could look at the bullpens for a hint. A's have been pretty rough. Maybe we like the F5, looking to kind of jump on Painter. That one feels pretty solid. Of course, I forgot my F5 page. Although, good news for me and us. The Bet365 search bar I was talking about works perfectly for team totals. So that's a shout out. Again, they don't pay me. Maybe they should. I just shout out everybody that'll help us save time. The same thing I'm telling you to pay me to save you, because it's the only fucking thing that matters on earth, realistically, besides, like, your health, which again is directly related to time. So anyway, Bet365 has a team total board where you could just get everybody's all at once. It's just the standard. They have alts. You have to look for that. But they have everybody's standard all at once with a price. That's just going to help to speed things along. I wasn't mentioning that, but I wanted to bring it up. So last thing, and we'll move on. A's have actually moved to even on the F5. I wonder if we had anything to do with that. So at minus 110, I like it a little bit less. But if we're making a pick, that's the one, right? The F5 lead as a dog. That got to me a little bit. If I ever get a damn apprentice on staff, that'll be one of the things I need him for. When the algo drops, just pick up the outliers that I may miss. The things that move, just for anybody that may be interested in jumping on board with us. When we're ahead on F5s, those numbers converge to, our work. And when we're more than a half run off a total, listen, I hate to be too arrogant, but you could bet your fucking ass. That was the premise of me really trying to get into prediction markets and capture CLV, but man, the fees that they charge around the price points that we needed is going to make it very difficult. Not only will it be difficult, the volume won't be there. And just to be realistic, in case anyone was wondering, right, we put out the model. A lot of times I start to see hints of it at night. I don't like to print it at night. It's incomplete. I don't want people to react. And then the second version comes out. It's completely different. And people say, oh, what the fuck? Now, granted, I guess if it's on you, it's on you. But that's neither here nor there. Oh, shit. Of course, I lost my fucking train of thought. That's fucking live TV. I feel like such a fucking idiot right now. Oh, you motherfucker. All right, maybe it'll come back to me. Whatever. Let's get back on track. God damn it. I had something good, I promise. I'm sure it'll pop back up. Oh, yeah. Line movement at CLV, sorry. Big nose alert again. I'm just the worst at this, whatever. No one pays for this shit you fucking pay for. The idea was when I see the model, sometimes I will see totals that are off. How did I lose that? And you want to capture that immediately, right? That goes across the board. Whether you're betting, whether you're trading and going to unload it, you want to be in front of the line. The problem is, if it only happens once a day or once every 2 days, you don't want to flip the CLV. You want to make the fucking bet, because the idea, at least, is generally, right, those bets are going to be winners. My thought when I was first looking was we were not only going to be able to capture CLV on totals, we were going to be able to capture it on money line stuff. That's completely washed with the fees, right? Those moves are not great, but it might be a couple percentage points. That's what the fees are. I didn't realize that they were that high or how they worked around the point. There's a bell curve. You can look up my timeline for details. But there's basically not enough of these opportunities. So I was ranting and raving. I don't want people to think, oh, look at this idiot. He was talking about this shit and he, sold us out on it. I've been following it. It's just not really there. Now, you can feel free to sell CLV and grab yourself a few percentage points. But again, if it only comes up once every day or once every 2 days, those are the bets we want to make, right? We have a lot of confidence in those for all the reasons. Wisdom of the crowd, movement of markets, backtesting of CLV over periods of time, whatever. So, okay. I wanted to get that off my chest because I did a lot of talking about this, and I was really, really excited about the potential of scaling it, but it's eliminated, and there's a certain space running ARB guy who's in the fucking shitter because of these same fees, so it's not just me talking it. So yeah, I like the A's, F5. I think the A's win it. Phillies, though the offense ticking up, I think the Athletics can meet them there. And I think Gin might have the edge over Painter. I'm kind of buying low. Maybe it's a bit risky. Totals at 5 and 9 were also, to the under. No, it's not, man.
This is Sparta!
Sorry. Stealing a drink with a classic. Let's get back on track. Next up, Cade Maury-Povich on the bump for the Orioles. They're plus 105 dogs down in Miami to face Max Meyer, who's been pretty filthy, right? And the Marlins. Baltimore has the bullpen emoji that they were already hanging by a thread. Garcia back-to-back plus 3 or 4. I don't think he's going. Nunez back-to-back. I don't know. Wolfram back-to-back 4 or 5. I don't think he's going to go. And Aiken's gone 2 of 3. So if you like Baltimore, I would cut it to F5. I kind of like Povich. I want to see it. The underpinning stuff is there. I get it. It's just I think Meyer has been so much better than Povich, and if I'm not mistaken, the O's offense right now was giving raw signals, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, L14. What was I worried about yesterday? I mean, it's K and swing and strike, but it's not that bad. So maybe I'm overreacting. I was into Baltimore. I caught a lot of heat last year because it continually disappointed us. This year off to a slow start. Now, I've been slow to get back on board. I want to believe in Baltimore. I think they're really talented. Maybe it was the L7 that I saw just starting to look like a leg down, right? This isn't sellout on Baltimore, but if you were worried about K's, that's really kind of manifested. Now the ball's in the ground. The barrels have disappeared. Took with it the batting average, and they're not really stealing. So maybe if Baltimore was kind of cresting, right, that the top sine wave stuff, maybe they're heading down. Let's check out the algo. 1 second. The algorithm says Marlins for a win, but maybe a little bit closer than the price. Yeah, you mix in the favorite at home. I think with the bullpen stuff, I think you can take Miami full game. Again, Meyer has been really filthy, right? It's lots of swing and miss that we didn't necessarily know we were going to get, plus the cold stuff with elite command, and he's ground balling it. So the fail point is Baltimore is not this shitty. But, right, notice the things that I mentioned. The worries about the Baltimore offense are all the strong suits of Meyer, and again, he's kind of breaking out, for lack of a better word. So at minus 125 at the crib, I think I'm going to go with Miami for the win, and moving on up to the east side, where the Red Laundry are going to try and get a piece of the pie. A lot of mixed signals here today. Flat fucking fish of Florida sending... I got Jesse Skoltens. He's coming in after Griffin Jacks. I appreciate everybody, I legit do, that reaches out to say, pitch and change, can you swap? When the bulk guy is telegraphed, I think we're going to have a much better time using that. It's easiest to almost assume a scoreless first, model with the bulk guy, than chasing a first inning, which again is hard to predict in the first place. Jax, though he's pitching better. You know what's funny? Hold on, let me back it up actually. You know what? I'm thinking now. I could have swore I read something about a stretch out. I wonder if that's going on in the comments right now. That Tampa was talking about actually stretching him. And I think that's been the case. Hold on, let me just double check. I'd rather stutter than be wrong. Okay, it's like yes and no. Yes, it's been beyond an inning, but he's not completing 3. So this is like a double bulk outing, and he's been pretty good as of late. Again, after a rough start. So this is going to be tough for Boston, whose offense has stunk, because Scoldens has been very good as well, kind of a command and control freak. I mean, 71% first strike, even through 23 innings, which is a small sample, is really good. You know, you're up and you're ahead. I mean, getting ahead of 7 of 10 batters is going to lead to good things, especially when, you know, you're keeping it down. Now, those two things are generally going to be linked, right? You're able to command like that. You could probably spot the bottom of the zone. He's going to be up against Jake Bennett. Again, the output was okay. Some of the underpinning stuff was okay, right? We love the ball rate. We like the first strike rate. But he missed a bunch, and I think he was kind of lucky, right? When you see 27 line drive, 53 pull, 53 hard hit, 13-plus barrel, and you didn't get abused when you're not striking anybody out with a couple walks, it was a debut. So this could go in any direction. I tend to think that direction is up for his track record in combination with the Rays offense. That's kind of ass. Rays versus lefties last 30 days, one of the worst left-hand hitting teams in the league. 282 plate appearances of grossness. Too many ground balls, 29 hard hit, 2%, like a 2% barrel, a 302 ex-con is so incredibly low. I mean, I was going to say it would be the lowest, but thanks to them, the Brewers are in the league. Though Brewers returning pieces have legged up, right? And I think maybe Milwaukee, one of the teams we might want a smaller sample. So neither offense is any good. Boston is starting to hit right a little bit, but better. Keep in mind, people, is a relative term. Last 358 plate appearances, they're batting .221 as a squad, .310 slug, .603 OPS, 48 ground ball, sub-7 barrel, .306 xWOBA implies 3.25 runs, 3.5 runs. Now, Tampa did have the bullpen emoji. Brian Baker, 3 of 4, Salsa, 2 of 3, Seymour, 3 of 4, Kelly, 2 of 3, and Legumina, 2 of 3. So they were also kind of hanging by a thread. Baker has been the best part of that. I don't know if he's going to be available today. Even with that said, that just brings Boston close to Tampa for me. I'm way to the under on this one. I even like it more, and I think this is a counter to the bullpen emoji, would be the expansion of expectations for Griffin Jax. So if you start to pencil Jackson for 2 2/3, even if you want to move him to 3 1/3, with Skoltens is going to get you a couple also. This is probably telegraphed, right? That usage. Looking to go to the pen for as little as possible. They're probably shitting bricks that they're going to need like 9 critical outs. You're not getting. They're not getting. I wanted to see how much we've seen from Skoltens. He's been up and down. He's actually been going in the other direction. He went 5 2/3, then 4 1/3, then 3. Pitch counts were 95, 72, 47. That 147 doesn't necessarily mean you're out. I don't know all the context behind it. But yeah, I'm leaning under. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to decide if I like F5 or full game. It looks like, all right, I'm not the only one mixed. There are fours and 4.5s floating out there. Obviously, we want the 4.5. I thought I saw an 8.5 total. That's what's live on MGM, and I think that's where I'd go. I'm going to go under the 8.5 favorite at home. I don't know. I'm not sure what that means because I think Tampa wins. I have Tampa to win this one. Man, I may even like that bet just as much. The Tampa F5. Again, the prices are all over the place. I'm seeing anywhere from minus 125, which I'm not crazy about, to plus 100, which I would like. So a lot of movement here. Make sure you're definitely shopping this one around. I'm going to put the U 8.5 just as a marker right now because I know I like that one. I know I'm modeled to that one. And again, just be careful with the bullpen emoji. That's why I added the report to let you know that there was a difference, but you should know it's not a blanket difference. And if anything, me missing that inning of Jacks, again, it's only a little bit, but to be honest, I'd bump him down a touch. That Boston total, maybe a 10th of a run. I mean, that's all it is. You know what I mean? That's all it is. All right, next up. Mr. Freedom, Matthew Liberatore on the bump for the Redbirds, plus 144 dog down in San Diego, the whale's vagina, right near that beautiful aquarium, El Rey. Michael King on the bump for the Friar Tucks, minus 175 at the crib. Liberatore, I thought he's a perfect example. I'm actually going to go on just the quickest of wild rides because I want to drive this point home, not just for all of my, lovelies out there, all the people. SoCal Zeus, Wagwan, Carolina Daddy, new names, Jeff L, me guy, Chandler, all of you. Love you so much. Rose, Baby, B Rose in the house with Caleb and Jason, of course. My guy, mi gente, yo. Brian E, just all of it. Little Shabla, good morning. Got a coffee, and you get a coffee in your dog. Who, me? What was that? For the fuck-ups, I hope I don't need any more energy. I know you can't be asking me to talk any faster, yo. You're fucking nuts, man. Yeah, I appreciate you all. Redmond up in the house. Carolina says, take the full game under in that last one. The bullpen's a decent word. I'm with you. Adonis, in-house. That's something I want to be a little more open to as well. After talking to my guy Kyle at Source Network, make sure you're following them. I had been on Thursdays. I haven't spoken to him yet, so maybe. But the idea here is I can come off like a fucking know-it-all, and I hate that shit. That's why I really try and go out of my way to always preface stuff and talk about range of outcomes and really even self kind of denigrate a little bit. It's fine. I'm stupid. I mean, I'm obviously ugly, but we're not the smartest, and we don't freaking know everything. But I was talking to Sauce about my F5 under full game over, right? Just with the Ghost Runner stuff. His pushback about the 6th inning and how we feel about it and nuancing bullpens, excuse me, kind of what the comments are saying matters more than I was giving credit for. For me, I'm such a puss that it's easy to say, F5 under. I want it in and out. Some of it makes sense, right? I'm not throwing it away. The handicap is predicated on strong starting pitching. Let's get out. Right? Let's get the hell out of here. However, the pitchers that get the strong 6, and you don't need my opinion for this, you could check the book, right? Check DraftKings out props. If it's juiced at 17.5, you're expecting the fucking full 6. If the bullpen is full strength and good, those are hard outs, man. Those are really tough outs. And then if you're baking in the favorite at home, like we always talk about, you could see where they make more sense than I was allowing. Now, I think I'm using a lot of those same arguments to solidify full game overs outside of, a real kind of extenuating circumstance, outside of something a little more wild, a really great starter that has trouble going distance backed by a bad bullpen that's not rested, right? If that happens on both sides, I'm not saying we would never go over a full game, a first 5. That's not what I'm saying. But I am trying to be more open to these full game unders because Carolina Daddy, yeah, I know. No. Oh, talk to him now. That's why I love Kyle, man. And me and him are so simpatico. Yeah, I wish my guy all the fucking success in the world, where he needs a separate baseball show with yours truly as fucking ringmaster. He'll tell you now, he was producing. He has not, and he's kind of come back to them a little bit. Again, I'm not trying to speak for him. But I think the two of us are meeting in the middle where we have found our flaws. He's also a big proponent of the decoupling. He noticed that as well. So that's a great show. Jeff L. with a little both teams to score. Mets, Colorado, Min, Washington, Pitt, and AZ. Dude, God, you're a fucking maniac. I love it. Both teams to score 2. Yo. Sick bastard. Sick fucking bastard, yo. Oh, man, this is crazy. Again, if you're an audio person, maybe hop over to YouTube while you're there, press the stupid fucking animated thumb button. Check out the live comments. You're going to learn something there. I mean, I'm learning stuff there. So I really appreciate this kind of give and take going on with the community. All right, that's all the nighttime stuff. Let's just do a quick little board read on the morning. Again, no one gives a crap about daytime content on baseball. They really don't. So if you're a paid sub, feel free to hit me up with any questions and stuff. I'm always here for you. Thursday's kind of like my day at disconnect, though. I didn't bet yesterday, and I feel like betting. I feel like betting today. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's see if we can find some fucking winners up top. I was a minute behind today because the Yankees swapped out Ryan Weathers, who I really liked, for Paulie Blackburn, who I don't like as much. Now, I do have the Yankees modeled for a win. That said, if the Rangers are going to get one, right, these are the ones they're going to get. And if the Yankees are going to lose games, these are the games they're going to lose. I kind of like the full game run line on its face. I wonder what that F5 looks like. I'm going to check it really quick. Because these are one of the ones where F5 kind of matters. It's minus 130. Getting the half run through 5, I think that's the bet that I like. Let's try and cut the Yankees offense off at the knees, clip those paid appearances. And though Gore is a thrill a minute, obviously, and having him throw 4-seamers to the Yankees is very, very, very scary. And maybe there's a case. Is the over still 8.5? Sometimes I worry that when I change the pitcher, I don't change all the other data stuff. It is 8.5. That's the other play, right? So it's either Texas F5 minus 130 playing to a tie, hoping that Gore just edges out Blackburn, who should suck, or an over, or maybe also, I'm sure an eyebrow went up in the classroom, back of the class there. Rangers have the orange block, which is modeled for 3.5. We have them modeled over 4, which is not like a strong hit, but Blackburn kind of sucks. Maybe the F5 team total is a nice one. That you got to get to DK. I have the funniest fucking DraftKings story. I really do. If you're following any of my epic saga with the location stuff, there's a new chapter in my fucking beef with DraftKings. It is so funny. I'm afraid to tell it because I sound so conspiratorial, and it's not even my style. Like I'm the conspiracy buster. You know what I mean? Unless they're real, then they're not conspiracies. They're just fucking true. Anyway, the F5 team total. Let's check this out, and then I want to go because I really want to find. I want to bet, but we got to find the good ones. I don't want to be throwing shit away. We have some time. I've never been the person that's like, oh, bet this, because I don't give a shit what people do. On my word. Where is this fucking crap? Okay, you got to go first X innings and then scroll down. It's such a fucking horse shit. All right. It's 1.5, but it's juice. So add that. If we have volume players, right? These. That's how I would do this. Like if you're a volume guy, I like Rangers over 2.5. It's juice to minus 160. I think they get there. I like the Rangers 3.5. I probably like them down. Yo, Jeff, did you not have this game in that? Oh, no, you didn't. I would think this is a both teams to score 2 also. I mean, if the Yankees are the hard end of the 2, we like that. I think the Rangers get Blackburn for 2. I don't know what we're getting from fucking Blackburn. So maybe I like the scoring here a little bit more than the chat, but you know, that shit happens. Of course, I was like talking, I didn't mark anything. I think, see, again, this is where I'm a fucking jerk. And Jason tried to remind me, tweeted at me today about eliminating variables. This is my issue. This is where I step on the rake. I defer to pitching, and it's gonna get you in trouble sometimes. Bottom line, it's gonna get you in trouble sometimes. So if I had to pick a scoring pick, I don't know. I guess it's over the 8.5. Like I said, I don't want to. I'd rather not try and sell out the Yankees offense the way they're hitting. Again, Gore with all the fastballs and shit. So whatever. Texas, Yankees, FG, 08. But just to be clear, I like a lot of the shit. I think Texas gets there 4. I think they get to 2 early. I think all that stuff. Next up, Simeon Woods Richardson on the bump for the Twinks. They're on the road against Jake the Snake, Swervin Irvin. You know, it's scoring or nothing, right? And the books are kind of on that. That's 5 at 9.5. My gut is if you're pairing to take that total down. Because I like it at 9, but I hate going over 9 because I feel like you're playing to a push, right? If you think in terms of distribution curves, there are so many 9s. It's so frustrating. Frustrating. The bubbles. It's frustrating. It's always going to come down to price. Books are already in front of us. Minus 145 is like a thanks, but no thanks. Over to the team total page. Let's freaking go. Oh no. I got it. Love this. That Rangers, by the way, 3.5 was minus 130. Yanks 4.5 minus 115. Twinks are 4.5 minus 110. Nats are 4.5 minus 115. So kind of keeping us honest. Jeff, did you have this one? This is another one. I like this one. Both teams to score also. Carolina Daddy on the even easy over. I think I am with you on that one. And what was that last one? Oh, yeah. How is SWR still in the rotation? I don't know. I wanted to get that one up. I have no freaking idea. You know what the answer is? And it sucks for me because I was a huge Zebby Matthews honk, and he's obviously not ready. I mean, how many opportunities the door is like wide open and swinging, and we just can't get this guy a stab. So he's got to be struggling. I really don't know off the top of my head. Yeah, Jeff, that's what I was looking for. Of course I did. Dude, I'm freaking struggling today, man. Maybe these edibles are shit. Or they ain't not shit. Now I'm thinking I should have New York and Texas. Yeah, I'm with you, brother, man. Especially if it's BT2. You know what I mean? Like, let's go. Yeah. So does Jason. We're getting confirmation from all the capos. The fucking 5 families are meeting by the smoky fucking pool room table right now and discussing the fate of the both teams to score. And that sounds like we're going to get a green light from the capos. Again, if we're pairing, I would probably take it down. If not, and you think it's stupid to pay for it, I hear you. I just think this is going to spin out of control. It's bad bullpens, right? Both pens are fucking ass. So whatever, you just go 09. Next up, Slade Ciccone on the bump for the Guards. On the road in KC against Seth Lugo and the Royals. I got wind blowing out. Wind already pushed the numbers. This game would not be listed at 5 and 9 other words. So again, man, I'm feeling stuck. If we're pairing and involving juice, I got KC for the cleanest win here. If you're playing straight, I think you may get the cover. It's plus 145. I like that. Jay's also calling out the Minnesota game for some scoring. We talked about that one. Oh, no, Minnesota's what I got. Oh, he said, I'm sorry, Arizona game. Keller and Gallon. Yeah, we're going to get to that in a second. I didn't realize. I thought that was the first one later. That's the last one. Now we'll get to this. Carolina likes the Kansas City F5. What kind of pricing are we talking here? And this is another bet. I need to learn to open my mind to, open your mind, bro. To the first 5 run line. It's minus 110. I hate needing that run. I feel pressure. Like I feel physical pressure needing that. The money line is probably juiced to the cock and balls. So if I'm pairing, I'm going to take it's minus 165. I can't pay that. If you play for run lines, this has got to be a spot. There's a couple markers here. There's a quick board read also, a quick kind of lesson. All right, so there's a couple things going on here. And I wanted to, not say counter, but I wanted to respond to one of the most frequent answers or questions that I get. And it has to do with reading the board, people using totals by adding them up. Okay. If you're looking at the board, yes, I run a kind of total. In this case, even if we're rounding, Cleveland 2-3, KC 2-9. When you add them together, you're north of 5, and you're a little bit under 2/3 of a run. However, you can't score runs in fractions. It's also dangerous to just use whole numbers. So that's why I do the decimals and talk about the curve and talk about thinking of it as a cannon shot instead of a sniper rifle, right? You can't pick a hair, but you could take out a tank. We're going to hit the tank. Other individual markers, right? That's what I want to get to, the individual markers. Being at 2.25, right? Which is, I said 2.3. Cleveland's at 2.27 to be exact, not the split cunt hairs. But you're at 2.25. That's that first benchmark leaning down to 2. Where the strong 2.8 is a hard 2. That's not a 2. That's almost a 3. So that 0.6 is a little misleading and more like a full run. When it comes to first 5, I would call half run, clear of half run, that marker, in particular on the other side of the 2.5 fence. I'm trying to push myself to bet this. If you're taking a straight bet, that's the play. If I was playing parlays, I'd probably just play Kansas City on the money line. But it felt good to kind of get through that because I honestly, I get it a lot and I want to be as clear as possible. And I get not everyone is going to sign up and understand all this shit right away. I could probably do a better job. I have a pitching sheet tutorial. Maybe I'm going to do a model read tutorial. And I could get all my ducks in a row. And just how people kind of read this stuff, because that's a pretty strong signal. Again, maybe strong enough. So I'm going to mark the KC win, because I'm generally parlaying these show picks in the afternoon. I hate day baseball. Paolo, what's going on? Mi gente. Love it that people kind of file in. You could always catch this after the fact. You could always catch the audio pod. It's a little bit shorter. But I love the responses and the interaction. It's much appreciated. Okay, next up, Rhett Lauder and the Reds. This one threw me for a fucking massive loop. So the Reds and Lauder are on the road against Monica and the Cubs in Wrigley. The total is set at 8.5. And frankly, I was tempted to put the second wind emoji. I generally go by the mile per hour. You got to be in the double digits to get the first one. You got to be at like 18 to get the second one. However, that second one, I don't know if I want to call it discovered. It was earned with the line. I would put a wind emoji and see that the line was still fucking running half past where I was. Like, come on, man. I'm into, again, decoupling for the model. That's off. That's something wrong. we're not getting the movement in the total that we should from the wind blowing out in Wrigley. Decision time, folks. Is this because people are buying Shota's performance? Carolina Daddy, simpatico with me. Because he says, Shota fly ball pitcher. He's taking a stand with Cincy. I respect that. Lauder also a ground ball guy. He also just got shellacked, and I think people overreact, where I almost look to buy the dip. I don't think he's great, and I think the Cubs' offense is good. I'm just to the over. I can't believe it's an 8.5 in a 20-mile-an-hour wind game with Wrigley, especially with Shota. I wasn't trying to flip around and do stats, but we got a couple minutes, whatever. You know, scratch the itch a little bit, know what I mean? Shota's been ridiculous this year, okay? Ridiculous. I get it. However, he's falling behind and then putting a 92-mile-an-hour four-seamer up in the zone consistently. 46 fly ball, 42 hard hit. He has a 6% homer to fly ball. I mean, 46 fly ball, 45 pull. I put up my first home run emoji of the season. JJ Bleday got. He's an air pull god. Mark S. got a big one. I saw Claude. You know, I'm addicted to Claude. My Claude says the wind is not steady out. It's cross winds. Has the under in my model. I think this line tells us that the wind is not consistent now out. Agreed. And that's why I didn't push it so hard. But I'm pushing Shota wind regardless. I feel like I'm pushing Shota regression regardless. Caleb says, Brett needs to go to AAA after that last start and tying a lineup. Went in the first. All right, listen, again, I don't know at all. And I do accept valid counters, and that's probably one of them, that he's falling apart. I thought when I looked at the log, there was a lot of strength and some underpinning stuff that we liked from Lauder. My indicator on Claude is still pretty good. The ball is down. You know, he's running a high BABIP. Again, we'll see. I'm to the over on the 8.5 regardless. That's what I got, and I'm sticking to it. If you're not buying a wind adjustment at all, man, I can't quantify it. They're all a little bit different. But just to be safe, I guess you could say to come off the 8.5, you know what the problem is going to be there. You're still going to be running near 4s on both sides, which could easily get you right. Caleb said, and I'm a Reds fan. Yeah, Carolina, that's what I was saying. That he's been okay. And I'm a hunk. Right? Lauder, former first rounder. If you're ever like, that's my frog DNA, is why do I like somebody that maybe I shouldn't? Look and see if they're a fucking first round pick. It's just so stupid. All right, next up, I'm not going to waste any time. I was surprised at the line a little bit. Mets are minus 150 favorites on the road. Christian Scott versus Jose Quintana. I think the Mets get it done. I'm like to the under here because of the ground balls. But understanding balls in play can get you in trouble in cores because of BABIP. I don't love the Mets offense versus lefties. I think Quintana is like better than people give him credit for. I'm not trying to do pitching analysis, but an 11 total is really high. And a lot of times, books try to tempt you to go under in cores. That line will come at a good price, so you might even be able to get 11.5 in a good spot. So my straight play is under 11.5. My parlay play is Mets to win. I think Scott came up. He had the rotten start. But after that good one, I think we've pretty much seen it. You know, he's, for me, my money at least, he's up off the map. Oh, yes! So give me the Mets to win it. Oh, I have team totals. Fucking A. Gotta check. Mets are at 5.5. I was just wondering. Minus 130. Just wondering. There are times bad offenses will get 3.5s in cores. We saw that on the bad weather day. The game didn't get played, but it was out there. We got one more. Pitt in Arizona was getting some love for the totals. I wonder, I'm not saying what are you guys looking at, but is it just both teams clear of 4? Like, I would think both teams clear of 4 is going to ring really strong on a both teams to score 2. Like, for sure. So that's Mitch Keller and Zach Gallen. Now, Keller has been a really tough customer, but Arizona is a good ballpark, and the offense is good. You know, I think on a, like, to a man, I think it's a good team. The production's been a little bit up and down. Last 7's been really gross. I know people are starting to bail. 0 steals, 3 homers in 7 days. Again, this is where L7 is so funny. Some people see this and are like, they're in the tank. I feel like this is bad enough that this isn't just like legging down. This is legged down, ready to crest up. Remember, sine waves. Things are not static. None of this fucking stuff is static. It doesn't work that way. I mean, man, I don't know. Maybe I'm a honk. Again, to a man, you know, Perdomo's back, Marte, Carroll, Del Castillo is hitting a little bit. Vargas was always going to come back to earth, but Arenado was hitting. Thomas was always going to come back to earth. They got Moreno back. I don't know. I tend to like this offense. I like it more than the market. Like, I see bad from the Cardinals, especially this kind of sustained bad. I'm almost like ready to buy because Keller, as good as he's been, he's still a big zone contact guy, right? His zone contact's over 89. So he's not really striking guys out. He's just kind of lived off of, you know, controlling the zone. That's been a new thing. He's recreated himself as a command pitcher, a ground ball guy, which is working, and it'll work. But in these spots, maybe he's just calling for a little bit of the regression monster. That said, I've got Pittsburgh modeled for a clean enough win to play on their own. So the total at 5-9, I'm not touching. Team totals, which I have right here. I mean, it makes it so fucking easy. So shout out Bet365. God, if they ever got approved in New York, it'd probably be the only place I'd play. 4.5 both sides, minus 115 for the Buccos, plus 100 for the Diamondbacks. I don't like the Diamondbacks one as much as I like the Pittsburgh side. Again, I just like the Pittsburgh win side. I think they could get it done a few different ways. Bullpen's probably a little bit better than Arizona as well. All right, so give me Pitt to win that BH. And the afternoon parlay is a little mishmashed. But I think Texas and the Yankees both go over. I think Twins and the Nats both go over. Again, always check the oil prices. Both of these are a good combination for both teams to score to pair. I don't know if you can get them at even money. Maybe if they were both at 3, I think I like that. Oh, I would even run the next one too, Cleveland and KC in a row. Maybe like, I think you guys have done it. I don't want to steal any ideas. I think a couple of the boys have been laddering these as well. Carolina Daddy says roof is closed. I just like that game for B22S. That's Jason. Yeah, I think I like the early ones for these both teams to score. I wanted to get to laddering, which also makes sense the same way you'd ladder the other one, but it depends on the pricing, and you have to make sure you're adjusting your risk properly. First rule of laddering, maybe last rule of laddering. If you're going to ladder bets, there's 1,000 ways to skin that cat without scratching its asshole. However, right? But, the big shaking ass, yo. Make sure that if you hit one piece of it, if you hit the base rung, that the entire venture is profitable. To me, that's the only thing that matters. Other than that, do whatever you want outside of making sure that you're being responsible with the total bet. Make sure, if you hit the baseline rung, that the whole thing is profitable. You can't get a hit and walk away a loser. That's really fucking stupid. Trust me. All right, right, maybe that'll be my YouTube short. It's so funny. It shows you how little I understand about shorts and how to run them and when to put them out. I put one out 2 days ago, like on a whim. I cut something out that I had planned. It was clean, and I posted it from StreamYard and trying to learn how to do all this shit on my own. And it got like over 1,000 views. And I was like, oh shit, wow, that's pretty cool. You know, I'm not a big YouTube guy. I don't know much about it. I'm not very popular. Holy crap. So I did one yesterday. You want to laugh at me? 13 views of that. What the fuck is that? 13 views. Like that. Like, remind me of Willy Wonka? 2? Who? Okay, so 200 Wonka balls. He says, no, 2. 2? I can't do math with only 2. Who eats 2? Fucking he watches 12 views. My God. So, but, so lesson, self-audit, be honest, never as good as you are when you're running hot, never bad as you are when you're running cold. Keep a good attitude and just keep fucking hacking away, right? Big tree, fall hard. We're going to get there. So afternoon parlay looks like this. Those early overs. I like KC to win, but I also like the both teams to score there. I got scoring. I have a lot of scoring today. I'm definitely going to be wrong on this. I'm the worst daytime bettor in all of history, by the way. This bears out like 100% of the time. So parlay all the unders to fade the fat guy. Then I've got Pittsburgh. That one I really like. And I got the Mets. I think they would. Like my money line donkey parlay, the Pittsburgh's not so much a donkey, but I think Mets, Royals, and Pittsburgh win. I'm a little less into totals as a reason they get listed at -110. So that'll do it. Mark asks, appreciate you all for participating in the show. Please press the cartoon thumb button because that shit matters more than it should. Support the show however you can. And if you can find it in your heart or are curious to see what all the hubbub is about, sign up to the Substack. There is so much data. You don't even see it all. Hit run. Ribby stuff is up. Rankings and the implied team totals. Football, basketball ranks, plus advanced statistics. They're up. Again, the player stuff is updated. That'll be up before tomorrow. I'll have all that stuff up. And we're rock and roll. And then once football season starts, it's weekly projections, plus ladder plays. I run a model. I have really cool differential stats and stuff. Plus baseball never ends, right through the regular season playoffs. Honestly, you're kind of on your own in playoffs. We do the show, but the data is hard to find, and it's not really stable, right? We all know that. So, all right, let's get the fuck out of here, yo. Thanks for picking up what I'm putting down. Mark says, thanks, John, for the work. 7-1 yesterday. Yes! Love it. Love to see it, man. So we'll just enjoy the games, enjoy the day, and when we're done with the book, enjoy the pay. Remember, when you work this freaking hard, man, the winning feels a lot less like luck, yo.